Hi everyone, Bernard here. Welcome to the Citizen channel. And the first of three little specials we're going to be doing between now and hopefully very early June, depending on how things go. But this is our first of our awards. So it's the Player of the Season, City Player of the Season awards. And today we're going to have a look at the Domestic Cup. So this cup covers the FA Cup, which we reached the semi-finals in. So we played 5 games. And of course the League Cup, which we reached the final. As I'm recording this, a couple of days ago, we actually won that. So that's fantastic where we reached the final, of course. But another 5 games. So, yeah, 10 games. So what I've done is just a little analysis of my player ratings I've done all season. And the Manchester Evening News player ratings, a matter of interest, just to make a comparison. And come up with my personal Player of the Season award as far as the domestic cups are concerned. So please join me today. We will be having a Champions League Player of the Season. That's why I'm hoping that'll go to early June, obviously by the time the final comes around. But I might be doing that in a few days' time. It depends how it goes. And obviously we'll have the Player of the Season for the Premier League, obviously, hopefully our Premier League title. By the time I'm doing that, it may have all gone to pot now since I've said that. But depending when you're watching this, you'll know more than me anyway. Depending, or you'll be as optimistic as I am, sort of thing. Anyway, so please join me for this today as we look back at the City's Domestic Cup Player of the Season award and who's been our best player. Right, thanks for joining me. Please push that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. I do lots of City stuff, as you know, City past, City present, these sort of things, information vlogs, loads of City stuff. And if you're interested, I'll try and inform and entertain as we go through, so please push that notification button so you know when I'm here. And I'll do little live shows as well, so if you push that button, you'll get to know about when I'm going live and all that sort of thing. And you will also see film and TV stuff as well. I have a film and TV channel. I do film reviews, TV drama reviews, information vlogs on there. So if you don't want to have a little break from football like I do, please check that out. That'll be fantastic. And if you're not interested in that, don't worry about it. This is football today. This is Manchester City we're talking about today. So please, if you need any friends or followers, if you're new to Facebook or Twitter, or you just want some new friends and followers, if you follow the links on screen there and follow and friend me, I do check every 3 or 4 days and follow and friend everyone back and post loads of stuff, of course. Funny, humorous, serious, not whatever, on Facebook and Twitter. So if you can do that. And all comments are very, very welcome. All new commenters are welcome as well. I've got my regulars who always comment, but all new faces are much appreciated, especially with the live shows as well. And of course, if you haven't got time to leave us a comment today, just give us a thumbs up. It's nice to get views, etc., but it's nice to get a thumbs up. Right, so here we go. FA Cup and the League Cup. Yeah, 10 games. Obviously, I've been making these little things all season where I sort of the games and rate the score, the rates. And obviously in there's red and blue. I mean, red will be my scores and the Manchester Evening News, mainly Simon Pekowski. There's been 1 or 2 guys who've chipped in as well, but we just call it Manchester Evening News, but it is mainly Simon Pekowski's rating. It's interesting to see. I mean, certainly with this domestic cup thing, we're not a million miles away, me and Simon, on the scores, to be honest with you, but yeah, it's a little bit different with some of the others, with the Champions League and the League, Premier League. So anyway, we've got to say there's 10 games, 5 in each, so it's nice to write round 5 in each. The only ever present, obviously I've sort of got to have rules for this, haven't I? The only ever present was actually Stefan. He's played in all 10 games, so that's fantastic for Mr. Zach Stefan there. In the League Cup, the only ever present was Mahrez, and in the FA Cup, the only ever present who played every game. I'm not talking about substitutions, I'm talking about starting games. And that's the basis of this. In the FA Cup, it was Jesus was the only ever present to actually start all the games in the FA Cup. So, as I say, Stefan did all 10 FA Cup and League Cup. So, interesting. And to qualify, yeah, a player has to start, yeah, not come on as sub. I don't count anything like that because with pet substitutions, they're only ever on for a few minutes anyway, aren't they? But they've had to start at least 6 games out of the 10. So, I've kept it at that. I was going to do 5, but I thought, no, I think 6 is a fair reflection over the 2 competitions, and we have 9 players who qualify, so we're going to have a top 9. I thought it was a top 10, but I miscounted with a certain gentleman, so we have a top 9 to go at. So I'm going to announce these all, obviously from 9 down to number 1, who our player of the domestic cup season is. So yeah, the 9 players we're going to have involved in this, and how many games they actually played. Of course, Stefan, who played all 10. We've got Mahrez, who featured in 7. Foden, who featured in 7. Fernandinho, who featured in 7. Jesus, who featured in 6. Sterling in 6. Walker 6. Diaz 6. And Rodri 6. So they're the guys in the 9. So obviously, what are your thoughts on that? However you think from that list there, who do you think your player of the domestic cups will be? So there's no KDB, only did 5. Bernardo only did 4. Gundogan only did 4. Cancelo only did 5. Mendy only did 5. Laporte only did 5. And Mr. John Stones only did 1. So he only started in 1 FA Cup and League Cup game. So that was quite unusual. I didn't realise that at the time. So there we go. So that gives us 9. So let's have a look. So here we go. Mr. Bernardini. We'll start at the very bottom, won't we? We'll start at who came out the worst. Well, obviously, here we go. In at number 9, and also at number 9 in the Manchester Evening News ratings, he got a 6.2 average from me, and just a 5.8, the lowest of anybody, I think, from the Manchester Evening News. And guess it's Mr. Gabby Jesus. Doesn't particularly surprise me. He's not had the greatest of seasons, has he? But yeah, with a 6.2 and 5.8, he comes with the MEN. He comes in bottom off both our lists. So my player of the players, he comes bottom, and also with the Manchester Evening News. So he's number 9. So not a great start. Here we go, number 8. Again, no surprise to me, this one. He played 7 games. He gets a 6.3 average from me, which isn't too bad. You know my player ratings. I always have a start mark, and the average usually start at 6, 6.5 or 7. But it does get an overall average of 6.3, which isn't a total disaster. Not fantastic. But from the MEN, he got an overall score of 6.5, and he was actually 7th in the MEN list, but he's actually 8th in mine, so he's dropped a place on mine. And we're talking, Razza, right? We were talking Mr. Sterling in at number 8 as far as the this award goes, player of the domestic cups goes. So a little bit disappointing, but again, certainly no surprise. And in at number 7, in 7th spot and 8th in the Manchester Evening News, so he was next to bottom in their ratings, with an average of 6.45, so that's not too bad, and an average of 6.5 on the Manchester Evening News. And he's the guy who played all 10 games. He's got Mr. Zach Steffen in there as in number 7 spot, so not great, not fantastic, but at least he was consistent, wasn't he? He said he played, and also he must get some cred for that, mustn't he? Street cred for that. On to number 6 in the list. I'm not quite to the top 5 yet. Up to number 6. Yeah, this surprised me a little bit, but having said that, I think looking at some of his ratings recently, he sort of perhaps not surprised me as much. But he got a 6.5 average for the for this one, Diaz. That was playing. How many games did he play? He only played 6 games. Obviously, he got an average of 6.5. From me, and he got an average of 6.7 for the Manchester Evening News, so slightly better. But it was, of course, Mr. Diaz who's been a revelation. So he was only my number 6, and he's only the Manchester Evening News' number 6, obviously, in the top 9 there. So might have been a bit of a surprise to some, but there we go. We're going to go into the top 5 now, and yeah, we've got again 5 for me and 5 for the Manchester Evening News. As I say, this isn't always the case. It certainly wasn't the case in last season's Player of the Season awards, that's for sure. But with a 6.4 average from me, but a 6.9 average from the Manchester Evening News, so a little bit better. Obviously, he played a total of 7 games. And we're talking Riyad Mahrez. Yeah, Riyad Mahrez in at number 5 on my list and on the Manchester Evening News' list. So about halfway, there's 4 below him, there's 4 above him with the people who qualified for this little award thing. Right, into 4th spot. Here we go. We said your favourite. Yeah, don't forget the guys I mentioned at the start. For Manchester Evening News, he's got joint 3rd. He's got, I think there's with this guy, and I've got him in 4th spot. So more or less the same, isn't it? I've scored him 6.7 average. Manchester Evening News give him a 7 average, so that's quite impressive. And he's played 6 games, and we're talking Rodri. We're talking Mr. Rodrigo. So he's actually 4th. Not made the top 3, just missed out slightly. Well, there you go. Say he was joint 3rd as far as the MEN was concerned, but out on his own in 4th as far as my ratings. I actually put the MEN ratings don't include halves, so mine are always a bit more accurate because you include halves as well, so we get a bit more specific. So you can get that with the Manchester Evening News. Right, so there you go. So reading down from 9th spot to 4th spot, Jesus at number 9, Sterling at number 8, Steffen at number 7, Diaz at number 6, Mahrez at number 5, and Rodri, number 4. And into the top 3, here we go. And this doesn't surprise me. I think he's had a pretty good cup season this season, to be honest with you. I think he's been quite reliable. He's played in 6 of the games. He's joint 3rd again on the Manchester Evening News, and he's out there in 3rd on mine. An average of 6.9, so just under 7 as far as my ratings go. And an average of 7 from the MEN, as I said, Mr. Bukowski usually. His best League Cup rating was a 7.5 in the final, in the cup final. There you go. And his best FA Cup rating was Swansea away in the FA Cup, a 3-1 victory, of course. And he got 7.5 there. So not magic, very, very high scores. But we're talking, of course, Mr. Professional himself, Mr. Fun, Mr. Walker, aren't we? We're talking Kyle Walker on this one, absolutely. As I say, I've been quite impressed recently as I'm recording this, and he does make the odd mistake, but as far as that steady professional City player that you want, I don't think we can go much further than Kyle. So he makes it to number 3. So we've got 2 left, haven't we? So if you remember the 9, do you want a reminder of the 9? No, you don't want a reminder of the 9. So we're going up to number 2 spot now. So the runner-up, but he's not a runner-up in our minds, he's in our hearts. Yeah, he's been with us quite a while. Yeah, and he's played 7 of the 10 games. He's also second on the Manchester Evening News ratings, and we have identical scores for him. We're both at 7.1 out of 10. His highest score in the League Cup was United away, an 8.5. This is from me, of course, and his highest in the FA Cup was Everton away. So he's always going to sort of stick up. He got 8 points out of 10 in that one. So he's always going to turn up for the tough away games by the looks of it, isn't it? And of course, we're talking the wonderful man who hopefully won't believe in us just yet, but we don't know, do we? We're talking Fernandinho was in at number 2, of course, into the runner-up spot. Fernand, fantastic season. I mean, as I say, he's not always been there, but he's certainly played enough cup games, and as the season's dragged on, he's obviously become a bit more of a go-to player as well, hasn't he, for Pep to actually pull him out of the bag and use him. So that's fantastic at number 2. But yes, we go to our player of the season for the domestic cups. Yeah, and you probably realise by now who it's going to be. Obviously, he's played in 7 of the games. I mean, it was the sort of thing he would play in the last couple of seasons, but now obviously he's one of our stalwarts in the Premier League and the Champions League as well. The last couple of seasons he obviously played a bit more percentage-wise cup games than he did league and Champions League games. But yeah, he's there, of course. 7.3 average from me, so not bad. A 7.3 average from the Manchester Evening News. So again, we totally agree on it. His best score was an 8.5 rating in the very first round of the League Cup. Bournemouth, yeah, 2-1. We remember playing Bournemouth back in the day, a long, long time ago. And his best FA Cup one is only a 7.5, but still okay, nothing wrong with that. And that was Chelsea away in the FA Cup. And we're talking the old Stockport guy, aren't we? Of course, we're talking our young hero, sort of, could be his granddad now. Yeah, could be his granddad, or a bit old for his dad perhaps. But yeah, the Stockport Iniesta, or the original Phil Foden, because I'm not comparing to anybody else. Phil Foden is Phil Foden. So he's our domestic cups player of the season. It's not going to surprise me if he's not up there for the Champions League and the Premier League player of the season as well. But on our first little award ceremony today, I haven't got a trophy for him, but I'm sure he's watching this, and I'm sure all the guys are watching it. I'm sure all 9 were waiting with bated breath there, a bit like the Eurovision Song Contest, waiting for the votes to come in. So anyway, there you go, Mr. Foden, Philip Foden, our domestic cup player of the season. I mean, do you keep scores? I mean, do any of you keep scores? I know Phil Banerjee or do obviously keep scores. Obviously, perhaps next year I'll include him on it as well. Who knows? I'll put him on a little thing as well if he doesn't mind. I'm sure he wouldn't. But if you keep your own scores, let me know. Let me know. Would you have done the same? Would it have been the same? As I say, please, we've got the Champions League and the Premier League player of the season to come as well over the next few weeks. So please join me for that. I hope you enjoyed that, and let me know in your comments what you think. And do you agree with that? As I say, it's funny, isn't it? I mean, you can go in your mind and consider who you think your best player of the season is, but when you actually look at what figures you've put down over the course of a season, it can be quite interesting, and I like my stats, as you know. So there you go. So there you are, the top. So from 9, let's just read them again, from number 9 to number 1. Let me have a look. We've got in 9th spot Jesus, in 8th spot Sterling, in 7th spot Stefan, Number 6 is Diaz. In at number 5 is Mahrez. In at number 4 was Rodri. And the top 3, more or less the same, both me and the Manchester Evening News. Mr. Walker at number 3. Ferner, the legend, at number 2. And a legend in the making, if he's not already, Phil Foden at number 1. Anyway, thanks for watching. What we're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Till we meet here again on the Citizen channel, or perhaps have a flit across, have a look at my film and TV channel. All I ever ask you out there to do is stay safe, Blues. Thanks for watching. Come on, City. Bye for now.